I don't know what to tell you. It just ain't safe no more, man. To get married and shit like that. That's
Yeah, old music in the back right here. Where's the love?
No, that's what I'm saying.
No love.
Because, let me ask you a question, right? Now that I'm talking about it. I wouldn't say you because you've been married a long time, but what's the foulest shit a chick ever did to one of your mans? That you was just like,
man.
No, I need it though. I need it from the top.
I can't enter this realm. I just know, I know somebody that's on, that I can't even say. It's a lot of, just be.
Yeah, but can we hear one?
I don't.
In general.
I don't, these is too serious and detrimental to, you know what I mean? Just watch. Lose your money, don't lose your mind. And don't lose your money either. Or your mind, so don't lose nothing, man. Watch your fucking, you know what I mean?
Yeah, man,
Watch your back, young athletes.
Well, I've had a young girlfriend way before that. Like I had a serious girlfriend, and I was in the hood. This before I ever thought I was gonna be Fat Joe the rapper. And every single guy.
Wait, what happened? Remy Ma? The same Remy who once wrote for her man and talked about loyalty and love, is now at the center of a scandal so savage that it makes daytime soap operas seem like Bible studies. We're talking about betrayal on a nuclear level because it's alleged that she did more than just cheat. She did it with Papoose's own friend, the same man with whom Pap had a beef. The same man whom Pap reportedly knocked out cold after learning about it. And the fallout toe, you're not ready arrives now. Hip-hop's wildest storm. And guess what? He's finally breaking his silence. To be clear, he didn't hold back any censorship or fluff. He opened the vault and said things that even made the internet tremble. If you think you've heard it all, think again, because Fat Joe just turned this scandal into a public execution of trust, loyalty, and hip-hop history, and you're about to witness it all. This isn't a story, it's a reckoning. It all began with a silence that was so loud that it reverberated throughout the hip-hop world. When Fat Joe, the Godfather, the unfiltered uncle of rap, finally broke his silence, the internet went crazy. And why wouldn't it? The people involved weren't background extras. This was Remy Ma, one of the hardest women to hold a microphone. This was Papoose, her day one writer. Mr. Black Love himself. The betrayal wasn't just cheating, it was chessboard treason because the man Remy allegedly got involved with was, as fans were still trying to figure out whether it was real or some kind of twisted reality TV crossover. Papoose's own friend, let that sink in. The friend Papoose allegedly trusted. The one who had been around the circle, who'd laughed with them, dabbed them up, and broken bread at the cookout, was now in the middle of their marital meltdown, and according to viral sources, it gets worse. And worse. Papoose discovered that he confronted the man and, without missing a beat, knocked him clean out. Let's go back to the studio time stump, 222 to 248. Pap's attitude was, you don't shake no hand that had sex with your wife, so Pap knocked him out. Remy called him like, now I have to be with the dude so he doesn't press charges. I was just about to curve him. That wasn't a rumor. That was Fat Joe narrating betrayal with the same calmness as someone telling you they ran out of milk. Its real beginning was because this scandal wasn't sudden. Rather, it was a slow burn and a whisper behind the scenes that you could sense through filtered Instagram stories and forced award show smiles. Let's talk about the history of Remy, Ma, and Papoose, the hip-hop unicorn couple who have been married. Through prison stints, these baby struggles, and career flips, they have positioned themselves as the ultimate power couple, which fits deep loyalty, #lack love. However, the problem with being placed on a pedestal is that it can cause tension to rise. Have been making the rounds on culture blogs for months. When fans noticed that Remy began attending events alone and that Papoose stopped doing a few interviews. Then there were the mysterious posts on social media that said, trust is like paper. Once crumpled, it can't be perfect again. Then there were rumors that Remy was seen with an unidentified man, a blurred-out photo, then a clearer one, and, finally, the full face. And guess what? It wasn't just anyone. It was a longtime friend of Papoose. In hip-hop, friendships get blurred. Friends turn to ops, and clout turns to confusion. Detectives went into full CSI mode, zooming in on timelines that matched likes and direct messages. Fat Joe had been radio silent, with no tweets, no lives, and no barbershop breakdowns until now. His response wasn't loud or dramatic, but cold, calculated, and brutally honest, the kind of truth you can only reveal when you've been around long enough to witness it all. In that same interview, he also revealed a terrifying gem from his own life. They'll F*** all your enemies. And when they're done, they'll F*** your friends. Read that again, because what really happened behind those closed doors was that love or loyalty was never really there in the first place, Fat Joe said. But Pap didn't take it on the chin. Instead, he threw the punch. This is where the plot really thickens, because it's not just about cheating anymore. It's about revenge, reputation, and how quickly #Black Love happens. This quote was a verdict that Joe spoke from experience, seeing betrayal wear a friendly face, and what Remy allegedly did to him was predictable, not shocking. As the smoke cleared from Fat Joe's explosive revelation, the real aftershocks began shaking the internet. What had begun as rumors had turned into something monstrous, and now we were knee-deep in one of the most emotionally charged and dissected sagas in hip-hop relationship history. The internet wasn't just reacting. It was in full-blown forensic mode, with TikToks with timeline breakdowns, Instagram carousels of old clips, Twitter threads 10 posts deep, and everyone had an opinion. The first piece of evidence, which was a screenshot of a direct message between Remy and the anonymous friend, said, "I can't be seen with you again, face with tears of joy." It was proof that Remy Ma had gone out, and she allegedly did. So, with the worst person a man, Papoose trusted. Some saw it as harmless banter, but others saw it as indisputable evidence. Then, a second bomb dropped. An anonymously released backstage videotape purportedly showed Remy leaning in closer to the man, whispering. Pappy knew, but he was trying to save face. One unidentified source told a gossip blog after she smiled until the camera froze and disappeared, suspiciously implicating the court of public opinion. Remy's PR team released a classic dodge, saying, "Remy is focused on her upcoming projects and appreciates the support of her fans." No denial, no context, just silence. But silence speaks volumes. Another said she emotionally clocked out a while ago, and this was just the final move. Was brutal and relentless, particularly in hip-hop. Papoose goes online without making any statements or expressing public anger. He only posts a chilling Instagram story with a black screen and white text that reads, "Loyalty doesn't fade, it evaporates." Mic dropped. Fat Joe's interview clip, which lasted from 222 to 248 on the internet, went viral once more, and fans analyzed it like a Bible. Pap's attitude is, if you don't shake no hand that had sex with your wife, so Pap knocked him out. Remy then calls him saying, now I have to be with him so he doesn't press charges. This wasn't just gossip. The public's tone changed from shock to rage as the same Remy Ma, who had once been praised for her loyalty and grit, was suddenly being dragged as the Judas of Black Love. Play button Papoose had run an entire campaign of love for her during her prison bid, and this is how she repays him. Play button, this is why you can't make loyalty look cool. Joe didn't spill tea. He brought receipts from the Bronx vault. One poster featured Papoose sitting on a throne called King of Pain, showed Remy Ma photoshopped into the Game of Thrones betrayal scene, followed by the TikTok trend creators reenacting the fight, the DMEs, and even Fat Joe's serene yet eerie storytelling. However, the plot twist comes when the public begins to question Fat Joe too. Why didn't he defend Pap? Was he acting as a stand-in for Remy? Did he know all along? Fat Joe simply reposted a throwback clip of him saying, "Loyalty is a currency most people can't afford." In the background of Rhee's events, fans unearthed old photos of the friend whose identity had been mostly hidden. And one of them even showed him hugging Pap on stage at a 2021 event. Imagine that, from hugging to betrayal, from brotherhood to battleground. Fans felt betrayed not just by Remy, but by the illusion that this wasn't just about two people. It was about hope. Rumors circulated that Papoose was lawyering up, not for divorce, but rather to protect his reputation. I'm not going to lie, sometimes I wish I had just stayed single. The damage was nuclear. Podcasts dissected the meaning. Was she? Was a voice purportedly recorded just days before the fight, and for some, it felt like watching the last bit of purity in hip-hop melt under the spotlight. The idea that love could endure through prison bars, music industry pressure, fame, and family was popular, but not for the right reasons. Hashtag Black Love was trending, but not for the right reasons. Asterisk, the story had completely changed. There was still no apology, no statement, and no response from Remy Ma. The silence deafened the internet. It kept growing in demand for clarification. Emotionally gone long ago was Pap holding on to something already dead. The reactions were endless. Studio microphone YouTubers called it the fall of the realest couple in rap. Studio microphone fans made countdowns of all the signs we ignored. Even radio hosts said, "We may never believe in love again, even love again." Fat Joe became the unintentional narrator of hip-hop's most personal betrayal, and when asked if he would say more, he simply replied, "What's left to say?" The streets had already heard it. That's how legends operate. So now that every detail has been revealed, every voice heard, and every emotion spilled, the question remains, what comes next? As the world continues to replay every detail of the betrayal, the real consequences started to unfold not in tweets or TikToks, but in courtrooms, boardrooms, and the silent breakdown of reputations once thought to be untouchable. Let's begin with the legal fallout. According to insiders close to Papoose's camp, the fight between him and the friend wasn't just emotional. It may have been criminal. Rumors circulated that the friend was considering taking legal action after allegedly being assaulted, and there were even hush money offers that surfaced. Theppa had gone from a heartbroken husband to a possible defendant. And the friend wasn't just in the meantime. The couple's business empire began to fall apart. Remy and Pap had several joint ventures, a media brand, merchandise lines, and even a rumored reality show. But behind the scenes, contracts were being frozen, emails were going on. And legal experts speculated that this could turn into a messy, public lawsuit. Would Remy be subpoenaed? What if the friend filed charges of assault or defamation in the court of public opinion? Papoose had already won, but real courts don't care about hashtags. Sources said that investors were alarmed because nobody wants to be associated with a mess, especially when it involves alleged violence and infidelity. One insider told a blog that even networks were becoming uneasy, as one network reportedly shelved a developing duo starring the couple due to their unstable brand image. If that wasn't enough, sponsors began removing a cosmetics line that Remy was supposed to partner with discreetly removed her promo from their social media channels. And a sneaker collaboration that Papoose was teasingly postponed indefinitely. An industry based on image had become too radioactive to handle, but the emotional fallout was just as severe. According to close friends, Papoose was devastated but was trying to keep his peace for their daughter. You could see the pain in his eyes, though, as he stopped going to public events, deleted all of Remy's photos from his Instagram, unfollowed her, and eventually blocked her. In today's world, that's not just closure. It's confirmation that Remy also started to disappear, making no public appearances. A woman who once spit bars about respect and power suddenly lost her voice, and as a result, the culture changed. Some artists responded publicly, while others did so through music. One female rapper posted, "Never trust a woman who flexes loyalty for likes." Another dropped a freestyle with the bar, "Black love ain't blackmail. Stop using hashtags to hide betrayal." Fans even pointed out bars in Papoose's lyrics that hinted at trouble long before the song was released. "When the scandal broke, I stood by your side through the sentence and the sentence slash, but now I'm just left with pain and a penance." Was he writing from heartbreak? Was the love dead long ago? Fan accounts posted old love notes from Papoose, now with clown emojis on them. Blogs conducted polls to see if Remy Ma could bounce back from this. More than 70% of voters said no. Remy's reputation as a strong, devoted queen had been destroyed, leaving her a public figure surrounded by questions. Fat Joe was the unexpected narrator throughout it all. His interview clips were still shared, and his calm, wise tone now sounded more like prophecy than gossip. He didn't take sides or engage in public relations. Instead, he simply stated the truth. They'll mess with your enemies, then your friends. And when the dust settles, all you've got is yourself. Tit differently now that the dust had settled and there was only fallout left. But even as the public's attention was on Pap, Remy, and Joe, a deeper discussion about expectations, forgiveness, and the dangers began to emerge. Think pieces flooded Medium and Substack about why Black love should never be entertainment. The betrayal had gotten bigger than Remy Ma. It was about how we consume drama, how we elevate people only to crucify them, and how we believe in perfect love until it falls apart and then act as though we always saw the cracks. Despite all the chaos, one final twist shocked everyone. Papoose dropped a freestyle without a rollout. "Are we too obsessed with celebrity couples?" podcasters asked. No announcement, just a message and a beat. "I built a castle with my hands, watched it fall with her lies, and gave the world loyalty." It was brutal, honest, and painful. Fans flooded the comments section, and he didn't disparage her. Instead, he released her play button. "I felt every bar, and even Remy's supporters fell silent because no one could deny the pain, growth, and finality of that verse." The chapter had ended not with a fight or a press release, but with a man choosing peace over pettiness. The internet moved on as usual. But this story left behind something unique, a real story, with real hearts and real consequences without any filters, captions, or edits, just the brutal truth behind the hashtags. Now that you know the whole story, the betrayal, the silence, the fallout, and the wisdom that came straight from the streets, the real question is, what would you do in Papoose's shoes? Perhaps that is the lesson in all of this. Behind every scandal, there is a choice. Would you leave in silence like a king who knows his value? Or would you go all out like a man who has nothing left to lose? And what about Remy? Is this a sign of weakness, a pattern, or a sign of something broken long before the cameras ever rolled? Did Fat Joe, the philosopher, witness, and voice of hip-hop wisdom, say too much or not enough? We want to hear your thoughts, so please leave a comment below with your thoughts. No filter, no cap, just the truth. Please let us know who is correct, who is incorrect, and what lessons you learned. This isn't the last time loyalty is put to the test. So if you thought this was crazy, wait until you see what's coming next. Your host wasn't holding back, revealing every angle and reminding you that in this game, love is loud, but betrayal whispers until the entire world hears it. If you believe that truth always comes out, no matter how hard you try to bury it, hit the like button. Subscribe and enable notifications so you don't miss the next chapter of this never-ending hip-hop soap opera. See you at the next.